There were so many warning signs with this one. Many, many warning signs. I can pinpoint exactly where this all went.
Let me just say this. Let me just
But
say this.
there was a twist at the end where I'm like, oh my goodness, this explains so much. This explains so much for how this came out to be in terms of its result.
Let me say something.
Okay. For those new to the whatever we're doing here, this is Cody Klusner, a good friend of mine.
And even though you can't see us, no, we are not parked in the back seat of his car in Makeout Point.
No, I thought it was make out Reef.
No, Point, honey. Point. Aha.
Does that mean we're not gonna get pizza?
Oh, dear.
It's always funny to make them laugh.
Which is more than I can say for this film, but anyway.
To describe the experience.
Let me just say this. I have always gone by the notion of I'd rather take a crappy sequel over a shitty remake. This movie is making me rethink that notion now.
Yeah, especially given the points I have on this one. But yeah, to describe the theater, I might as well get that out of the way first. Just give like a rough idea. So I get the tickets yesterday because my mom really wanted to see it. Megan, we were gonna see it together, but what happened was after the reviews came out, she got cold feet, and she was like, "I'd rather wait for that to come out on streaming." So I'm like, "Oh well, I guess I'm alone on this one." So I get the tickets. Mom's excited. I'm like, "Well, at least I'm gonna see it." I went in with low expectations. I remember being in line at the ticket booth, and the attendee there were some people in front of us, and one of them asked, "Is it good? Is Indiana Jones 5 good?" And the ticket attendee was like, I've been hearing people say good things. It's been getting the most tickets as of late, which probably says a lot." So I get in there. There's like maybe 6 or 7 people behind us. There's like 4 or 5 just in the common rows, and you know that Saturday Night Live sketch with Adam Sandler and Chris Farley where they do Zagat's?
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of how to describe the experience of watching this movie. The only difference is that my mother's Chris Farley and I'm Adam Sandler, just standing there, stone faced, just trying to get through this. And next page is like, funny joke, funny joke, funny joke, funny joke. And then there's like some guy like 2 or 3 rows ahead of me. I noticed this at one point. He was like looking at his phone, just channeling Facebook and things like that. I'm just like, this is it. This is Indiana Jones 5. Did you do this? Like, did you? There's something that I never do during a film like this. I never check the clock. I never check the clock. It was like right around a little after the Tangier Mario Kart chase. I literally went out into the lobby because I actually had to use the bathroom. I was like, I'm kind of holding it in, but I don't know. This chase scene's going really slow. So I legit went out to the lobby for 2 reasons. One, to use the toilet, and 2, to look at the clock because I'm like, this is going slower than I imagined. What's going on here? And I literally look up at the clock and I see that it's like almost 9 o'clock. And I'm running the math in my head because we didn't start until 7:30, with the exception of the previews. And so I'm running those numbers in my head, and I'm like, either my math is off, or I am 80 minutes into this movie, and so little is happening.
Oh, that's always a sign. If you're actually willing to get up to go take a piss, you know the movie's not holding you.
I was like, I wanted to see this. I really did. I saw the trailers. I kept thinking, okay, by some chance, it's nice to see Harrison Ford back in the role. It's nice to see him really trying at best. At least he's doing as much as he can.
Trying, but
I'll give that. I'll get to that. I'll get to that in the moment. But here's where it starts to deter for me. When you start to notice the way these action scenes are staged and the way things are planned out, you kind of put two together and realize, yeah, the guy's old, but I feel like if they allowed him to do more physicality in certain areas, it might have worked. But most of the time, it's like, okay, so he can't run around and jump on rooftops. He can't, like, do fistfights or anything. So what can we do? Chase scene, chase scene, chase scene. Let's have him on a horse. Then let's have him on one of those Tangier
Tow
Mario Kart.
trucks.
Thank you, tow truck little things. Now let's have him dive underwater and go under the sea so we can have like some little CGI here and there, but maybe have him like a water tank set. Let's have him like walk onto a temple set and fire a whip a couple of times. Let's have him in this thing on a plane. Like that's where I kept thinking like maybe it could work, but it really does show they were trying to be so careful. So careful, because the guy's in his 80s.
Yeah.
I felt like the writing just didn't do any favors, because when you look at the action scenes of the previous four, with the exception of Crystal Skull, be it as it may, and then you compare it to this, there's not a lot of fist fighting. There's not a lot of physicality. Yeah, the first 20 minutes, it's a trained set piece, go figure. But number one, he's de-aged. And two, he is doing some physical stuff. But at the same time, you could argue they had a double in for those bits. They
Yeah.
just clearly had a double in and stuff. If the whole movie was just him, de-aged, and with a double, maybe it could have worked. But legit, 75% of the time, they just have so many chase scenes and so little physical scuffle that I just kept thinking, this is so dull and repetitive. Like, there's way too many chases.
Exactly. I mean, credit where credit is due. Harrison Ford, when it came down to when he was riding the horseback, he actually was determined, like saying, I'm riding this horse because, yes, I am an old man and we gotta make it look like that. So, horse riding, that was all him. I'm like, okay, give him credit for that. But during the rest of the film, I'm like, any minute now, I'm waiting for him to go, my hip!
Well, they kind of do that near the end, but I can't quite spoil it.
Oh,
They
come
do
on.
something.
After, okay. Let me say
after
this.
so much he gets taken down with one bullet, and it's like, really? Really? That didn't stop you earlier.
No, but
That
here's...
didn't stop you when you're underwater with a whole swarm of eels.
No, well, first of all, I can see where they were going with the whole underwater scene, considering Indiana Jones has never actually done anything with water before. It's always dry desert areas.
Yeah, I'll give it that much. There's not too many because it's expensive to do underwater. I'll give it that much. Like the closest we gotten is the tomb sequence from Last Crusade, but even then, it was a case where the room was filling up with water and they're underwater. Most of the time, they're on the surface of water. So I'll give it that. It was nice to see something refreshing, even if it was so short.
Yeah, but another thing, the de-aging process. On close-ups, it actually looks pretty good.
From a distance, it looks better.
No, from a distance, when action takes off, that's when you can really tell. That's like, that doesn't look nice.
Yeah, I was looking at the lip sync, and there was something about it that felt off. It's not bad like General Tarkin in Rogue One, but it's like, I guess I could let that slide a little bit. Just a little bit.
And another thing that one reason I want to see this movie is because the villain was going to be played by Mad Mikkelsen, and anyone worth their salt knows that he does villainy good in films and TV.
Yeah, I can vouch for that. He was in a Spectre. He was the Bond villain of that one.
No, he wasn't.
Was he?
No, trust me, Mad
Was he?
Mikkelsen. No, it was Casino Royale. Casino Royale, he was the villain.
Oh, that's where I got it. Well, then again, Casino Royale is forgettable in my opinion, but yeah.
That introduced me to Mad, but anyway.
Yeah.
He is so freaking underused in this film. I mean, good God, man. You have what were you? It makes.
I think he was better utilized in Doctor Strange.
He was better utilized in freaking Rogue One, and I hate that movie.
I thought that one was okay, but yeah.
Oh my giddy, but no. Okay. they got away with Crystal Skull by showing his age, and
Mm,
he could still do physicality stuff a bit better.
yeah.
10 years later, we got Grumpy Man Jones with a baseball bat. I'm like,
I
I saw that, and I'm like, oh my god, he's Grumpy Old Man.
Yeah, knocking down the door of kids playing the Beatles.
Oy.
I did kind of like it a little later when he goes into like a cafe and he pours like brandy in a coffee. No. It was after that. He like pours brandy in coffee. Like, okay, that's kind of the Jones I know. I can see him doing that.
And one thing, he did not lose an eye in this film. I'm kind of disappointed.
Oh, what, you actually want the continuity of Young Indiana Jones Chronicles in this?
Why not? I mean, it's
The
a
one
train
that
wreck
Lucas-
already.
The one that Lucas went snip snip snip. We're gonna take out 90-year-old crotchety indie that's like in donut shops, just taking down cashiers that are not giving service right. I remember that.
I'll say this right now. The one episode of that show that actually had Harrison Ford playing Indiana Jones,
Oh, Mystery of the Blues.
I would have taken that over this shit.
Yeah, because at least use a saxophone to make an avalanche.
Exactly. Exactly. Oh, good God.
Yeah, I think what tipped the scale for me was this. Okay, yeah, Harrison Ford, he's in his 80s. Fine, sure, whatever. At least he's there. He's doing what he's doing. At least give him a sidekick that works. And this is where, later in the movie, it began to dawn on me why it wasn't working for me. Harrison Ford coming back, sure, fine. Just give him someone he can work off of. Someone that can at least be helpful. Well, congratulations. We got Phoebe Waller-Bridge as Helena.
His goddaughter.
Yeah, it's funny because I can't recall something I've seen Phoebe in where she was annoying or anything. I know she was like the droid in Solo, the Star Wars story. I didn't mind that. But here, the way they set up the character and write the character, that was the one I realized I got it. I finally got it. Because Harrison is showing so much age, and clearly they don't want to retire the character. They don't want to pass it off to a whole new person and say, this is your Indiana Jones. Technically, what they did was they made another Indiana Jones, but in her likeness, and said, no, this isn't Indiana Jones. This is the goddaughter. There may be similar things, but we're not going to write her to be the new Indiana Jones. But I picked up very early on, there's certain key points of dialogue that made me go, I so see what you did there. I so see what you did. It's when they're in the temple and she's talking about how she got her very own short round. Oh, sorry. What's the kid's name that's like her sidekick?
I don't know.
I'll
I'll just say this. There was not one damn character I cared about in this movie at all.
except Antonio Banderas, but he's so in and out of the movie.
Wait, he was in that movie?
Yeah, remember? He piloted the boat. He's the one that sends him into the water and goes, okay, be careful, there's like eels in here.
That was Banderas?
That was Banderas, and he's in and out of the movies so disrespectfully.
That's how out of it I was with this film.
Wait a minute. I remember the young sidekick's name, Teddy.
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 The boy who wants to be a pilot.
Teddy, yeah, Teddy. I just, like, there's a whole bit where Helena's like, oh yeah, I met him somewhere, and he tried to steal something from me, and I kept slamming the car door on him a couple of times, we couldn't escape, so I kept him on. I'm like, wait a minute, and in a heartbeat, I'm like, that sounds vaguely familiar. I'm like, was that the same way Indy picked up Short Round? He caught him pit-pocketing him? I'm like,
yeah.
Oh my god, I know exactly what you're trying to... Oh,
yeah,
no.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
it's
no.
pitiful.
No.
Pitiful.
Like...
At that point, I'm like, can we bring back Willie? At least she's entertaining. Bring her back, please.
No. Indy uses the dial to go back in time and save Elsa and try to convert her. No, it couldn't. It couldn't work. It couldn't. Elsa, honey.
let's move on for a second. Let's move on to the MacGuffin of this film.
This is one where I'm like, maybe it could work. Maybe, just maybe, if it was the whole movie. And this is why I pinpoint the biggest problem of all. It's one chase set piece after another, and when we get to said MacGuffin, I felt like the MacGuffin should have been Act 2 and 3. Just go to the MacGuffin, and then the remainder of the MacGuffin should have been something akin to, say, oh god, without giving too much away, did you ever see a Mystery Science Year 3000 episode where they riffed Time Chasers?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What?
This movie's Tomb Raider. This movie is
What?
Tomb Raider. Think about
What?
it.
Oh, I see what you're getting at now because of
Think
the
about it.
climax. With the knife frozen in midair, and well, that doesn't happen in the fifth one.
No,
but I
no,
see
no,
what
no,
you're
no.
getting
Just
at.
think about it. What is Tomb Raider? They're going from one location to another location, chasing after chasing, looking for two pieces of a friggin' time machine. Come on.
But you know what? That did it better. That at least did it better.
That did it way better.
Yeah, it was dumb, but it was a fun kind of dumb. This is just, it feels like you're just in this geriatric Olympics, and events are slowly happening. And the more you sit there, you're like, get to it. There's a whole chase scene in Tangier where Helena's, I guess, fiance that she backstabbed decides to go after them. I'm like, don't make it overcomplicated. Like, seriously, don't make it overcomplicated. You already have them bickering enough. That should be like the whole corner piece of the chase scene. If they're going to have that exposition and stuff, have them go after Mad Nicholson's character to get the other half of the MacGuffin there.
Yeah,
Instead, they have
exactly.
like, oh yeah, no, instead, no, let's make it goofier by having a big chase scene with some fiance that she backstabbed and things like that. Like,
Not to mention,
it stopped the sequence so much. Like, that's the problem. When it's adding so much to the moment, it slows it down. And the one scene that should feel slow and tense is so in and out quick that I literally screamed in my head, really? Really? The one scene that should at least be intimidating. When they go to that ship underwater that's swarming with eels. Eels, I might add. That should be tense, like something out of The Deep from 1977. And they just go, whoop, we got it, whoop, oh no, eels. Oh, I'll just dust that off. Okay, we're safe.
and not to mention, another thing is, you remember in Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones and the tarantulas? How he just scraped them off like they were nothing?
Yeah, I know where you're getting at.
We get that here, but then all of a sudden he's in a panic. Like, get them off me, get them off me. I'm like, if they were snakes, I'd buy this. But they're bugs.
Mm-hmm.
He's been in bugs before. I mean, you remember the fortune cookie tunnel from the Temple of Doom?
Those are definitely not fortune cookies.
Exactly.
Funny you should say that because I was expecting snakes to come right after that scene. I'm like, oh great, now what are they gonna do? Snakes?
I mean, I get the whole underwater scene with the eels, what they could have done. They're like snakes. I can see.
At least Crystal Skull had snakes.
Exactly. You're making us want Shia LaBeouf boy back. I hope you're happy.
Okay, for I think I might have brought this up in the episode. I could be right or wrong. But when I did my retrospective, I said on paper, Mutt could work. It could work if it was placed in the hands of a different person. But some of the dialogue that they give Mutt, and I believe the performance of LaBeouf is really what ruins that character just a little bit. Especially given how the staging and some of the fight scenes, he's played up as more of a comic relief case. Like when he's standing between those two cars and the branches start hitting his groin, I'm like, I can't believe I blocked that bit from memory. Yeah, but even then, I'm looking at the sidekicks of this one, and I'm like, this is just Short Round and Willie ported over. But if you upgraded Willie Scott to make her more comedic and standout-ish, and even then, as granted, as annoying as Short Round could be in Temple of Doom, don't get me wrong, at least he did more stuff. Here, they try to do the same mentality, but something about it just doesn't work. because he doesn't have much time to spend with Indiana Jones. Teddy doesn't have that
Exactly.
much playability, and even then, with Helena's character, she is so back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There are moments when it looks like she's about to backstab him, but even with the audience, no, you're not gonna backstab him, especially the
No.
way you're giving clues and stuff. There's a whole scene too where they escape from this explosive thing, again without giving too much away, that close friends of Indiana Jones on that thing died. And she's like, hey, we made it, we're alive. And then he's like, my best friend was on that thing and he's dead. Like, oh, yeah, should we grieve? I'm like, if you're going to let a dramatic moment like that really be taken in, let that dramatic moment sink in. Don't force it in like that.
Have a moment, please.
It just, you know, when the Cannes Film Festival came out and the mixed reception started from there,
First red flag.
that was one red flag. But I kept thinking, okay. At least when Guardians 3 came out, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, that got a mixed reception too. But after its opening weekend, the reception did get more welcome and better. And that was a much better movie in comparison. But of course, that's apples to oranges. So I'm not gonna say I'm gonna go from there. But I kept thinking of that principle. Like, okay, maybe it's a situation where it isn't that bad as everyone makes it out to be, but there are entertaining spots. Maybe there are things in there that critics just didn't get that audiences do, because that's happened before. The first Ninja Turtles movie back in 1990, a lot of critics didn't get it, but the audiences did because it was such a hot property at the time. I
Yeah.
thought, okay, maybe it's a situation like that. Maybe that's the case. And then the box office estimates kept bouncing from 140 to 60. And the last I checked, I think it's like going at 60 million
Yeah.
as of this recording. We're doing this Sunday night, by the way, so it's probably gonna get like maybe 80. It wouldn't surprise me if it gets like 100 by Tuesday, but we'll see how that goes. I'm not trying to sound snarky or anything. No, like let me put it this way: when your girlfriend starts to see the warning signs more than you do, that's another big red flag. When she
Yes.
starts to lose interest and you're kind of like holding on to like hope in a sense, you're like, no, I mean, maybe it's my jurisdiction was okay. Let's wait and see how it goes this box office week. Let's see how it goes. No, the ultimate nail in the coffin. Did you see who wrote this movie?
As soon as the credits roll, I was halfway out the exit.
The minute I saw this, my brain turned on. I'm like, that makes so much sense. It makes so much sense. Because they have. This is interesting because when Indiana Jones 5 was in production 1 year ago, and I was doing the review and stuff, I noted that James Mangold used two of his writers from Ford versus Ferrari. And I thought, okay, we're in good hands. This will be just fine. This should be okay. It's going to be in fresh hands. Some folks are just going to deliver and do something good. But then I saw there was a name in the credits under the screenplay. No, not the screenplay. Under the writing credit that made me go, I didn't see that name last year when they announced this movie.
Cope?
Yes!
Mm-hmm.
The minute I saw David Cope's name, I'm like, that makes so much sense. No, it makes way too much sense. And I don't have a vendetta against the guy. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, this is the man who wrote Jurassic Park.
The first Spider-Man movie.
The first Mission Impossible. He wrote Panic Room, wrote and directed Secret Window, one of my favorite Johnny Depp Stephen King movies.
Yeah, and he also did The Lost World Jurassic Park, which I have a soft spot for. I don't mind that one too much. Uh,
He also did Angels and Demons. I prefer that over the Da Vinci Code.
Death Becomes Her, The Shadow,
Uh huh.
Zathura.
Yeah.
Yeah, Angels and Demons not that half bad. I.
What? Well, let's face it here. We had James Mangold.
mm,
Not gonna lie, sounds like a porno name.
yeah.
But who also had his hand in the Honey Pot Reading, along with the Butterworths.
I bet you after the box office comes out, someone is gonna literally come out and say, "Well, we invited Co-op in for like script doctor work or to punch up some lines here and there or some scenes here and there." Because it has happened more than once that when someone brings in a draft, someone will come in and will actually rewrite certain scenes or line work.
Mm-hmm.
That is usually a common case, which okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
But even that was a similar thing too with Crystal Skull. Frank Darabont came in and he had this script idea that Spielberg was behind, but Lucas wasn't, so they hired David Coop on, and
Mm-hmm.
Coop kept certain elements from Darabont's script and added some stuff in. And again, I have nothing against that guy, but I feel like there are moments when he's trying to do some simplistic crowd pleasing kind of work. It's not Lawrence Kasdan
Mm-hmm.
levels, but at the same time, just seeing that name and thinking back to certain scenes and lines of dialogue when they're trying to see how far the echo goes in the legends of the hidden temple,
Mm-hmm.
and they just go ba 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 ba. I'm like, there's no way they would allow that in Indiana Jones film. That's too silly. There's no way they would allow a gag like that in there. The minute I saw that name, I'm like, oh my god, that makes too much sense.
Well,
Way too much sense. I bet you there is a better draft of this movie that exists.
probably is, but then again,
Probably, because there are things that just come and go. Like, what happened to the black CIA agent that was working for Mad Mikkelsen's character? She completely disappears. There's a whole thing too. Oh yeah, this is where the movie started to take me out of it. When you have the secret agents that are going after Indy, and one of them goes to like his office because he's retiring and stuff like that, and one of the guy's like looking for papers and stuff, and the secretary's there, and she like starts piecing things together as to what's happening, and she starts slowly walking away like, I might warn someone, but I don't know, maybe I could. And then he just like fires her in the back of the head. I'm like, why would you do that? You didn't have to do that. You could have knocked her out or something. Like, you didn't need that beat there. It's just for the sake of shock value. It was so out of tune. And yeah, brutal things happen in these previous films. That was just like, she could have just like minded her own business or something. You didn't need that there.
his waiter friend in the beginning of Temple of Doom, I felt more of a connection than the secretary.
Yeah. I go before you, Indy, my first adventure.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the I how do you feel about Toby Jones? Because there were moments where I kept thinking, I feel like they shoehorned him in here because we don't have Brody anymore. How would you want to bet they originally thought maybe we get someone to play Brody? No, we're retiring Brody. Let's have Toby Jones in here as this other professor we have zero knowledge of. Because there are certain mannerisms where he acts like Brody, I swear.
You know what they should have been?
What?
That character should have been played by Jim Broadbent, his colleague from Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. That way we would have had what? Somewhat of a connection.
That would have made... Yeah, I would have been okay with that.
No, a
You have a
connection.
point. I would have been okay with that.
Exactly. But yeah, he was. Hang on.
He's still around.
Yeah. I'm saying he's still alive. They could have used him.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he was just shoehorned in for the plot. That's all he was.
Yeah.
Well,
So you brought this thing up, which was kind of interesting. There was a whole there was like a fake test for a MacGuffin that gets set up but never utilized, which
That
was the
would have
magic dagger.
that would
I can't spoil it because of what happens, but the magic dagger. You want another magic dagger from Star Wars sequel trilogy?
I'm just saying. One, that would have been a more of an interesting item to go after.
Mm-hmm.
And two, would have had again a connection to a previous film, i.e., The Last Crusade. Because if you think about it,
Yeah, I
you
can
mean to
see
tell
what
me
you're getting
you mean to tell
at.
me in all of Indy's father's journals there wasn't like a
Mm-hmm.
reference or anything to the actual dagger?
Yeah,
I'm just saying. I'm like,
yeah.
you're giving us things here, people. Why did you go with it? I mean, what is this? What if scenario? I mean,
we're expecting the Watcher to appear and be like, "This is an alternative universe where Indiana Jones retired and divorced Marion. I am the Watcher. Observe this thing."
would have been better. Would have been better.
Oh! The send off for Mud. I'm like, I think I
I
know why you did
called.
that.
I
We,
fucking.
no, you, I'll give you credit. I'll give you credit to that. I don't want to take credit for this. I'll give you credit because I think I said it as a joke and then you called it.
I fucking called it because when I saw like actual images of them filming on location and saw what time period it's supposed to be, it's like, I know why he's not casted. I know why he's on this movie. That's how they got rid of him. I fucking called it. I'm like,
But you know where it leads to is where it annoyed me the most because it's like, well, congratulations, we got rid of a character that fans don't like, but it led to this thing and reason why this happens in the movie. I'm like, oh, don't
But-
you give me that double-edged sword.
But that could have also been something else because given what this dial up of deuces is, given what this is, you think that would have been like some sort of effort for Indy to actually be like, have him have a stake in it other than just saying, no, it's a bad machine, we must destroy it. Have him some emotional effort into it.
Mm-hmm.
But no, he's just there to be Old Man Jones.
He's just there to get from point A to point B because it's not Indiana Jones without him.
I mean, he doesn't even fucking swing with his whip. Not once in this film.
That's a good point. That's why I mentioned there's not much physical movement for this entry. I just
I mean, the first 20 minutes, like I said, had me hooked because it actually felt like an Indiana Jones film.
it was serviceable.
Yes. And then we flash forward and it's all a straight downward spiral like a very old flaccid dick.
You know that scene where he's going on about exposition about the MacGuffin and all the kids there are just uninterested in what he's talking about?
Huh?
That kind of sums up the theater experience because there was a couple of times when people were coughing in the front row and some folks were like talking like across from me.
And again, something that they could have utilized better given the time period because, okay, for the record, this does take place either right before or right after, sometime during the Vietnam War, and man, Neil Armstrong has just come back from his famous moonwalk. I'm like, this makes sense. It reminded me of Toy Story 2, where the prospector says, 2 words, Sputnik. Once the astronauts went up, everybody just wanted to play with space toys.
That's an interesting way to put it. In fact, I kind of like the idea that there's actual history happening around them that we know of, but they just don't care about it. But you have Indiana Jones sticking to the past and things like that, and like okay, I kind of like that idea. But now thinking about it more in hindsight and where that leads to at the end of the flick, again, without spoiling too much, there's living in the now and reminiscing about the past. And then there's... Oh man, how do I phrase this without ruining everything? There's living in the now and thinking of the past, and then there's living in the past and trying not to live in the now.
And your lucky numbers are...
Exactly. How's about this for shooting how's about this for shooting itself in the foot? And this is in the trailer. There's a bit where Indy mentions, some strange things have happened to me, and I don't know, maybe they're real or maybe they just were fictitious, but whatever, I experienced them. And then later he's rock climbing with Helena, and there's a bit where she's like, "Aren't you worried about that?" He's like, "Are you kidding me? Have you ever drank the blood of Kali? Have you been stuck with a voodoo?" Like, "Oh, sure, you brushed all that up, but now you're reminiscing about that? Really?
Really? Oh my.
Really?" It's like
Oh.
Sam Neill in Jurassic Park 3 all over again. He's in that lecture talking about how Engine was manufacturing dinosaurs, but they weren't making dinosaurs. And then later, when he's on the island and he's in the broken down lab of Site B, there's a bit where, like,
This is how you make dinosaurs?
no, this is how you play God. Like, what? Really? What?
I mean,
little
Daniel's.
little little things like that get to me because they add to the character. Little lines of dialogue like that add to the character. So when you set up this little tiny support here and you have like that little, I guess you could call it a throwaway line for a small gag, it's got to add up to what was said earlier. And that's what I miss so much about the previous Indiana Jones films, because there's so much there's so much psychology you could break down between Indy and Belloc in the first film, how they're after that one thing but for different reasons.
Exactly.
There's a line I remember in Raiders where Belloc goes, "You see this watch, I could bury it in the sand, and then years later it would be worth something." Like, that adds to his character. That makes sense. That's why he wants to go after the Ark of the Covenant. And here, the lines of dialogue, you could argue they're throwaway lines for a quick gag, but when they don't match the thesis of the character and what they're crafted for, that is where it starts to get a little wibbly wobbly with me. But poor Sala, like,
Oh my god, no, don't get me started. I wanted to walk out right then and
I
there when
I wanted to see him on that adventure. He's like, "I got a passport." I'm like, I'm waiting for him to, like, wouldn't it be interesting? I so wish they did this. Would it be interesting if they do a bait and switch and actually sneaks on that playing in the cargo hold? Saul, you're not supposed to be on here. Yes, but you forgot your briefcase.
Exactly.
Because
But-
that's Sal's character. He's so loyal.
He is loyal.
Now I want to see him during the 10-gear Mario Kart chasing, just driving one of those things at 90 miles per hour.
That would
That would
have
have saved it.
That would have saved it.
That would have saved it.
Saved it, and a nice way to introduce his character, not the way they introduced him here, where I'm like, give me another reason to walk out right here, right now, because I fucking will. I fucking will.
I didn't mind what they did with him and the family. I'm like, okay, that's kind of cute, but where are you going with this? Oh, nowhere. It's just a cameo. Okay, bye.
Bye.
And then at the end too, when he appears and he sings the same song that he did in Raiders. Oh, how was this for a moment? In the trailer, he goes, "Give him hell, Indy!" And then cut to Indy almost getting hit by a car. Like, can you imagine the ramifications? I bet you, how it should have ended will do a parody of this, and they will actually do a gag of that where Indy gets hit by the car. Given how downhill that channel's going, they're gonna do it. They're gonna do it.
They probably will. They probably will.
Ooh, they will find ways. They always find ways.
And another thing that disappointed me was the villain's death. I mean, villains before always have, like, memorable deaths, you know? Raiders of the Lost Ark, they got their faces melt off and blown up. Temple of Doom fell into a crocodile pit, got torn to shreds. Third one...
Chomp, 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 chomp,
You know,
chomp, chomp.
Last
You
Crusade.
betrayed Sheba.
Exactly. Third one, The Last Crusade. Rapidly aging and then just decaying into bones and dust. Not bad.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Even the fourth one. Massive information dumped to a point where she couldn't cape it and then was, like, lit on fire. It's like, okay, it's creative.
I argue that number 4, that's a little too close to the first one, but it's
Yes.
like, I'll let it slide, because at least it's doing something different, but it's a little too close to Raiders. It's no exploding head, but I'll take it.
Yeah, but this one, I'm sorry, you just find his body laying there. I'm like, that's it?
You know what I thought they were going to do?
What?
And I'm trying to avoid spoilers so bad. You know what I thought they were gonna do? I thought he was gonna be the fossil. He gets it. I'm not gonna give it away, but those final 20 minutes, I keep hearing. I keep hearing so many people saying those last 20 minutes make up for it. And yeah, on
Bullshit.
paper, maybe, but there's little moments in there that took me out that made me say, yeah, I can see where it could work if it wasn't for this point and that point, and especially a bit near Helena near the end, which even ruined the last 5 minutes, to be honest.
And not to mention, they kind of spoil the ending halfway into the damn film.
Yeah.
I told you this right after I met. There was one thing that happens near the last 20 minutes that I felt happened to me after seeing this film. You've seen it. You know what she did to Indy. That's how I fucking felt.
Yeah, even the stuff they do afterwards with the wrap up and stuff, which so many are like, it's the best thing I've seen. I'm just sitting there going, yeah, but after what Helena did to Indy throughout a good majority of the movie, being a very annoying sidekick, and not to mention even hinting, backstabbing him at a couple of times, even later when they get to Italy, and she mentions how she plans to get the MacGuffin and sell it off anyway, after it seems like that she's convinced not to.
Huh?
I no, I can't get behind that. But then she changes her tune when like her short round teddy gets short round teddy. I made a funny. I made a funny. No, when he gets taken away, I guess she changes her mind and that's thrown out the window. But it's like no, no, I can't get behind this character anymore. She's just annoying to me.
You know what?
They just
no offense to Sala. He's a good character. But you know who would have been you know who would have been better, given what they did to him? Short Round. A grown-up Short Round.
He's still around, yeah.
He's still around. They could have given that role to
Why
him.
not? Oh, I was expecting him to appear in this thing.
So did I.
I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad. Good respect for good respect for Key there.
Yeah, he won his Academy Award. He doesn't need Harrison anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me that would have been a better role if it was Short Round instead of Sala.
It would have. It would have made more sense if it was just, yeah. If it was Indy and Short Round going after the MacGuffin, that would have made for something more interesting.
Exactly.
That would have made for something way more interesting because it would be like a sequel to Pixar's Up if you had Carl Fredricksen in a teenager version. His name is giving me a blank. I shouldn't because I love Up. This is what this movie's doing to me. It's erasing so much. Russell, a teenage. Yeah, if it was something like that, I wonder what the dynamic of that would be like.
And not
that would be it would have been different.
It would have been.
But it's like, but no, it's like, oh yeah, there's certain standards to an Indiana Jones movie. We gotta have an Indiana Jones girl. We gotta have this. We gotta have that. I don't know. This movie is getting a lot of mixed to. The receptionist one is like very divided. It really says a lot when the two summer flicks you've seen so far that you admittingly enjoy. At least in my case, I don't know about you. But in my case,
I thought the worst one I would see would be a red man in spandex throwing a baby into a microwave. I thought that would be the worst one I saw this year. But no, this is a close fucking second.
I'm gonna say this. I have not seen The Flush, so I can't say much. I've avoided that one like the plague because I've heard so much about it. But again, what I was alluding to earlier, it says a lot when the two summer blockbusters you hold in high regard as being the most enjoyable so far, because I know we're just in July, is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 and Transformers 7. Yeah, Transformers 7 repeats a lot of stuff, but at least there's different layers to it, and at least there's things I can like recall back to, like Ron Perlman as the leader of the yeah, Ron Perlman's in this film. I know you can't see it, folks, but Cody was just like, really? Ron Perlman's in this movie? Yeah.
I'm not surprised. They got Kelsey Grammer for a movie, so who the fuck?
He's Optimus Primal.
God. But, no, I would say, I cannot confirm with this because I'm actually going to go on the 4th of July to see this movie, but I agree with you with Guardians, but I will say the next one that I think would be the next big one will be Spider-Man, across the Spider-Verse. That's probably going to be the next big one for me.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me change that. Sorry. Let me change that. Sorry. This is what this movie's doing to me. It's making me blank about other films that are good. So again, I take that back. Top 3 so far: Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Transformers 7: Rise of the Beast, and Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse. Across. Sorry, I
Whatever.
I want to see the third one so bad. This is what Indiana Jones 5 is doing to me. It's messing with history to the point I'm forgetting certain things I've seen. So yeah, for me so far it's Transformers 7, Guardians 3, and be Across the Spider-Verse. Those are the 3 that I say are the most enjoyable so far.
So far for me, it's just been Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but from what you said about Across the Spider-Verse, I'm going to add that to the list as soon as I see it.
You won't regret it. The only problem is that it's half a story, but from what I have seen, I'm curious about the other half. I mean, I know there's a lot of stuff going up now with the behind-the-scenes issues, but it's like... yeah, it's kind of a shame that those animators were forced to the bone to work on certain deadlines and things like that under Lord and Miller, but hopefully they'll get better treatment for the next one. I'm really hoping they do.
When they see the box office results, I see no reason why they shouldn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know Across the Spider-Verse is part 1. Remember, the first teaser said it was going to be part 1, so I know it's going to end on a fucking cliffhanger.
Same. I had a feeling it was going to, but... final thoughts on this one. What can I say that hasn't been said? Like, if you really like the Indiana Jones franchise, stick with the first 3. Really stick with the first 3. There's moments in here that are so dull and slow, even during the action scenes. What did you expect? Harrison Ford is 80 years old. Yeah, but you can work around it. There's ways you can, and they prove it in the first 20 minutes, and then afterwards it's just mobile chase scene. Chase scene. There's so little physicality to the point. You're just watching chase scene, and the people he's pitted with, you kind of wish he was pitted with better.
In hindsight, I could actually see if they did this properly, if they took bits from, the dill pickle of Doom and and the Klingon of the crystal meth. If they were to cherry pick bits from those and combine those together, that could have actually been a big film in and of its own.
No, the cone head of crystal meth. Well, they are cone heads. I pointed out in the episode. They look like cone heads when you see the descriptions. Builder, you should use the cloaking device.
I cannot remember everything.
Coneheads is another movie I'd rather watch.
Yes, Coneheads is something I'd rather see a sequel of.
I so wish they do like a legacy of that one where Prime and Builder appear at the end. Just they raise the ship out of the Golden Gate Bridge lake and you just like see it flying and stuff. Yeah, for years, I wanted to see a legacy sequel to Coneheads just for that image alone of seeing their ship rise out of the lake. But it's like, that's something I want to do. I don't know if any studio will take on that. I'll say this. You were so right. The parody James Rolfe did for his Angry Video Game Nerd episode, that was way off. If you're expecting something like that to happen, that's not what happens.
No, it's not. That's not what happens.
No.
It would have been interesting if it actually happened that way.
Yeah, it's just funny, too, because Stefan saw it, and on Twitter I asked a question that said, how did they do the time travel stuff at the end? Is it like Back to the Future? Or I can't remember the other film I asked. Like, is it like this kind of time travel or that kind of time travel? And his response was, no spoilers. And then everyone jumped in like, yeah, spoilers, yo! After seeing this, if you want to know what the time travel is like in this movie, it's Time Chasers. That's the best way to describe this. That's the last 20 minutes of the movie. It's time chasers, only minus them going back in time and meeting up with the civil. Is it this? No, no, no. The Revolutionary War. That's what it was that they
Yeah,
bump into at the end. Not Indy 5 in Time Chasers. In Time Chasers, there's a actually Time Chasers isn't that bad of a movie.
go see Time Chasers instead. Go see Time
Yeah.
Chasers.
No, even better. Go watch the Mystery Science Theater 3000 version. It's way better than this.
Yeah, very true. Very true.
Hell! After this, we're gonna do Time Chasers.
Why not? Oh, oh God.
Hell! The main character looks like Robin Williams. I'm not kidding. I was showing it to Megan, and she's like, "Is that Robin Williams?" I'm like, "No, but he looks like him. It might as well be."
He does. But oh God, yeah. This.
What? Yeah, your turn. I can't recommend this for the life of me.
I wouldn't either. Save your money. Go see something else while you can.
Not even out of morbid curiosity. It's just a little too slow for my taste.
No.
Harrison Ford, I like you, but the stuff they do with Indy in the movie and the people he's pitted with was what really started to turn me off. It's just a miscalculated blockbuster, in my opinion.
Yeah. Not to mention the final scene is a mental image I'll never get out of my head because, no offense, while they were great actors.
When it turns into little rascals at the end with the little dilating.
Something like that, but
and it irises on the hat. I'm like, oh God, that's too schmaltzy.
You know what else was a red flag for me? There was no Paramount logo trick like in the last films. There was nothing.
No, the Lucasfilm logo molds into a lock, I guess, on a door.
Boo. Needless to say, boys and girls, don't see this movie. There are plenty of other films coming out this summer. Other movies that deserve your money. Go see them.
Go see Nimona. I heard that one's really good.
I heard good stuff about that too. Go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Go see Spider-Man. You know, we are listing better shit here to value your time, but do not see The Flash if you value your life.
The Flush. I'll give you credit for that one. You called it The Flush. I'm like, that's a better name for that movie. The Flush. I don't know what I want to call. I don't know what I want to call Indiana Jones 5. I don't want to give it that dignity of giving it a nickname. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
I gave it its own name. Indiana Jones and the Dial-Up of Dunces. That's what this movie is. It's a dial-up of dunces.
It's the diarrhea dial. Diarrhea, diarrhea.
Oh, God.
When someone quotes Beavis and Butthead, Angel gets their wings, and then they take a bow.
Oh,
Lord.
This movie was.
That's why I wanted you here, because you've seen this. I need someone to.
You needed a soundboard.
No, I needed to make sure that I wasn't the only person that was just that wasn't going, is it just me, or is it the universe? Is it my analytical mind, or am I going nuts? I need somebody who's seen this movie to understand my feelings. I need film therapy.
Oh no, I got you there, Booby. I got you covered. I saw this film. I saw The Flush. I've seen this shit. Now give me the gold.
Yeah, there's gold. It's coming August 2nd, and it's called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. Hey, that's got Ice Cube as Superfly. I'm hyped for that one.
What?
Yeah, he's Ice Cube. Yeah, Ice Cube's playing a villain. He's Superfly.
Superfly. No.
Hannibal Buress is Genghis Frog. That's what sold me on that.
Oh,
I'm like,
gosh.
dude, Hannibal Buress from the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. Yes, please. He's the gym teacher. That's like, Spider-Man's a criminal, man.
Oh,
Man, he should have been the Jameson of that universe.
yes. Oh.
He's looking at like Captain America, going like, that man's a criminal.
Yeah. Oh my god. And if anything, even if you don't have, if you don't want to go to theater and you want to stay home, even streaming services, there are plenty of other films I can recommend. Like Evil Dead Rises. He has not seen this movie because of political reasons.
I wouldn't I wouldn't say political reasons. I have a knee jerk reaction to evil mother tropes.
But I will say this: it is with Evil Dead, and it just feels like an Evil Dead film. It's good. I'll put this. It's better than the remake.
Yeah.
Well, what else?
Well, this is, I don't know. Is there anything else to talk about? We've been yakking for an hour now.
I haven't the foggiest. I'm just looking at something else. Go see the Boogeyman. I heard that's supposed to be good. Oh, we got the new Mission Impossible. It's coming out part 1 next month.
Yeah, I saw a trailer for that one, and I turned to my mother. I'm like, I'm probably gonna end up bringing you to that one, isn't it? Well, it's got Simon Pegg. I'm okay with it. The one that did caught her off guard. Oh, if we're talking about trailers, albeit briefly, the one that caught her off guard was the Meg 2, because Jason Straham's in it, and she likes watching the Fast and Furious films,
Huh?
and she's like, "Oh, my guy from that franchise said, oh, even that guy too." And I lean over and go, "The first one's on HBO Max," and she's like, "Oh, I gotta see this now." Seriously, the trail opens up to that opening with like the prehistoric creatures eating each other, and she's like, "Oh, this is gonna be like Jurassic Park." Is I'm like, "Nope." And then Mega Ding Dong comes out and eats the T Rex. Mood change, like interest.
I also got a trailer for mine with Jason Statham for Expendables 4.
Oh, they're making that.
I've seen a trailer for it. I am not happy with it.
I didn't know they were making Expendables 4.
Yes, they are. And guess what?
How? How
No,
did that
no.
go under my radar?
Yeah, it's coming out, I think in September, I think they said. But yeah, and Megan Fox plays.
She plays. She plays. That's a very long name for her to play.
She plays Jason Statham's ex-wife.
I like the fact. Oh, this explains why I haven't seen much. Apparently, the title is Expend 4 Bowls. Yes, I did the thing. I hope you're happy.
Oh God.
Why haven't I seen trailers for this? This is driving me nuts now.
Well, look the trailer up, honey.
Oh my goodness, Indy 5 is killing him.
Oh God. I'm not looking forward to that movie. Only Jason Statham and Sylvester Stallone are returning. That's it.
Really? Wow. Yeah, I can see why, because Bruce Willis is retiring, which I understand completely.
And Schwarzenegger's doing his own biographical thing for Netflix.
Oh, that's actually pretty good. I've seen pieces of that. It's actually very interesting. We still got Sylvester Stallone and Dolph Lundgren.
I'm sorry, but it's like your favorite musical group, and only one third of the group comes back. It's like, no, I'm gonna give this a pass. Because it was the diversity of the cast. All the different action heroes that got to play the different roles that actually fit. It was a good team. And now you're just like, oh, we got the only ones here that are willing for a paycheck. Gotcha. No, but another trailer I saw was for A Haunting in Venice. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I saw the trailer, I thought it was gonna be like some sort of Conjuring sequel. Until I saw Kenneth Braga show up with the mustache as Prolo. I'm like, oh, I get it now. This is gonna be fun. Either way, needless to say, I'm more interested in the trailers that they showed. I do not care for this film. I will stick with the original trilogy. I will watch the fourth one if I ever feel like it.
I think I'll quote Jeremy Johns. I see the first 3 movies as a perfect trilogy, and the fourth one's kind of a coaster.
And the fifth one's the toilet paper.
That's all I got for this one. I can't bring me to say this is worth seeing. I had
It's
hopes.
not. It's not worth seeing.
It's more underwhelming than it is disappointing, but some folks are probably going to see it because it's got Indiana Jones's name to it. And like, oh, hey, at least Harrison Ford's here. It's like, if that's the case, all right. Like, don't have us ruin your day. It's our opinion. That's fine.
you'll have a more entertaining time trying to catch hemorrhoids off public toilets.
I don't want to chance it. I don't want to chance it. I
Mm-hmm.
just that's all I got.
All right.
That's everything in between. So yeah, until next time, whatever that will be. Thanks for listening to us for this extensively massive audio review. I didn't even think we were gonna make that long. It's like an hour and 4 minutes now.
Give or take. Good God.
Yeah, let's end it here.
Okay. Thank you for listening. Please tune in to our weekly podcast of Dunces and Films.
Don't give me ideas. All right, later.
Bye.